you can't end his life. You know this. You know you can't end a life. You know it's murder.
She held his nose.
Mm-hmm. And what'd you do?
And I put the washcloth in his mouth.
March 6, 2015, Palm Harbor, Florida, 85-year-old Anthony Tomaselli was found lifeless on his living room couch by his daughters, Mary Beth Tomaselli and Linda Roberts.
There were no signs of foul play, no signs of criminal activity. Nothing didn't indicate anything other than Anthony's death was of natural cause.
With a history of cancer, dementia, and the frailty of age, it seems straightforward. The cause of death, natural. But 4 years later, on March 5th, 2019, Linda Roberts was taken in for questioning. Why now, and what changed after all this time? The answer to these questions are shocking.
I was looking at a report. So your father's deceased, right?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about that?
About what?
About what happened. What happened?
What happened to my father?
Mm-hmm.
The doctor, his companion died 3 weeks prior to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he had dementia.
Okay.
And he was going to go into Brookdale.
Okay.
My brother and sister and I all decided he was going to Brookdale.
Okay.
So he didn't want to go there, but he had to go there. It was a beautiful place.
Let's rewind to 2015. Anthony Joseph Tomaselli lived in Florida with his second wife, Cheryl. Despite battling severe illnesses, he still held on to joy until Cheryl passed. After that, everything changed. His health declined fast, and care fell into the hands of his 2 daughters.
Well, when I was there, my father he said he felt like he had a stabbing pain in his chest.
Mm-hmm.
And he had this awful cough, very productive. And so I recognized that something was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So my niece, who was also staying there, I said, call the doctor, make an appointment. They need to do a chest x-ray, see what's going on with my dad's lungs. My dad told me and my sister, he said, I don't feel good. He says, I'm going to lay down on the couch. And they had 2 rockers on either end. He said, would you mind staying up while I lay down here and sleep?
Okay.
I said, of course, sure we will.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to sleep, snoring away.
According to Linda, it seemed like just another normal night, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing to raise alarms, but everything turned upside down the next day.
So we get up in the morning, 6 o'clock, about 6 o'clock, and I walked right past him, went into the kitchen to make some coffee, and my sister got up and she went over and checked on him, and she yelled to me, something's wrong, Dad is not responding to me. So I went over there and I checked for a pulse. I felt a pulse, but wasn't thinking my father had a pacemaker in, so of course he's going to have a pulse.
Linda claimed that when it hit her, he was gone. By the time paramedics showed up, she was down on the floor giving CPR, playing the role. And for 4 years, no one questioned a thing. Just another tragic end to a sick old man. But now, the cops had puzzle pieces no one else even knew existed.
I don't think you're not being very honest with me right now.
What do you mean?
Because that's not what happened with your father, okay? And you know that, okay? You know that that's not what happened with your father. So I want you to tell me again, from the beginning, what happened with your father.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Linda's face dropped instantly. The officers weren't buying a word she said, no matter how convincing it sounded. And the reason? It all started on February 19th, 2019, when the case was quietly reopened. A man named Anthony Marsh had contacted police. This man had information that would change everything.
She said, please, I want to talk to you. I have to tell you something very important about why this has happened, why I'm this way. I know I've said things and done things that have upset you. And she asked me to come over to talk in person. I did. I went over. And then she started telling me, you don't understand what happened to me in my lifetime and why I'm this way, why I'm so messed up. And she said, it has to do with my father. And I said, wow, that sounds pretty bad. Of course, I was assuming something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I know people. I've talked to people. I know I have a little bit of experience in people that are messed up because of their parents you can tell me if that's what you want to tell me. She said, I've never told anyone. Nobody knows. And I said, well, these kind of secrets.
Meet Anthony Marsh, a smooth-talking musician who somehow found his way into the hearts of both Mary Beth and her sister, Linda Roberts. Mary thought she'd found something real until she realized Anthony had been secretly seeing Linda too. What started as a messy love triangle quickly turned into a quiet war.
The only person who knows is my sister. She knows. I said, oh, geez, this is going on with her as well. I said, tell me. She said, it's nothing, if that's what you're thinking. I was like, that's what I was thinking. You're damaged from this child. She said, no. I said, then what is it? She said, I ended my father's life. I was shocked. And then she said, actually, we ended my father's life, me and my sister. And I said, how did you do this? It was chilling to me.
Okay.
I started my phone video at that point.
After 4 years of silence, Linda suddenly spilled everything to a guy she barely knew. Something felt off. Why now? Why him? But this wasn't just a baseless accusation. Anthony held the reins to something even bigger.
Like 6 of them in a little bit, because he had a drink every night anyway,
Who had a drink every night?
my dad. I said, just put him in a little bit of alcohol, 6, 7 of them, and stir him up, because he was waiting for a drink.
A beverage, alcohol?
Yeah, vodka. So, what does she do? She makes a drink this
Oh.
big.
Mary Beth?
Yes. Instead of making a little drink, she makes a big drink. Because the 7 halcyon, I think it was halcyon when he was taken, which are very strong, would have been plenty enough to just let him go to sleep and sleep peacefully.
Linda Roberts, a medical assistant with a solid grasp on drugs and overdoses, didn't flinch when she admitted to spiking her own father's drink. But what hit harder was her quiet frustration. Not guilt, not fear, just pure disappointment that the overdose hadn't gone exactly as planned.
So she makes a drink this big. Well, he can't drink a drink this big. So I looked at her and I said, so she already handed him the drink. He takes about 4 swigs of it, 5. And in about 15 minutes, his hands started shaking. He was dropping his prayers that he was saying, his holy cards. But I knew he didn't have enough in his system.
This was the moment it all clicked. The evidence had been there from day one. Back when paramedics checked Tomaselli's medications, they noticed his sleeping pills were fewer than they should have been. Linda brushed it off, saying he'd been taking extra. The officer believed her. Until now.
You killed your father 4 years ago.
Do you have to say it like that?
Well, but
and
that's...
don't just say it to me, because it was my sister too.
And Mary Beth.
Correct. We euthanized him. We didn't kill him.
You can't decide that a miracle of modern medicine couldn't have saved him and cleared his cancer out.
Never. Never in a million years.
You can't decide that.
The doctor said it. He told
The doctor.
father's dying.
But he's not dead. You can't end his life. You know this. You know you can't end a life. You know it's murder.
Yes, I do.
That's murder. Look at you, little innocent you, and you've actually murdered a person in this world, and your own father to boot. I've never murdered a person, and I'm dangerous. I'm a dangerous individual. People start fights with me, and I don't just wrestle with them. I pound them into oblivion, and I've never murdered anybody. I can't believe it. I've even wanted to in the past.
Marsh sat across from Linda, trying to wrap his head around everything she'd just admitted. But Linda hadn't done this alone. Her partner in this horrifying act, someone expected yet chilling to believe.
So then why do you think, now what are you going to do?
What do you mean?
That I've told you.
I can't believe that you murdered.
Not me. Me and my sister.
I can't believe
Don't
that you...
put it just on me. We made the decision together as a pack.
She's a dumb... You're the ringleader. You know that. The first person to think, let's just euthanize him, was you. You know that. And she agreed.
No, it really wasn't.
And she agreed.
No, that's not true.
Oh, you both said it at the same time. You went
Actually,
1,
we
2,
did.
3, let's
We
euthanize.
both decided at the same time, because actually, you don't know my sister. My sister has a temper 10 times.
Linda spoke without a flicker of guilt. No emotion, no regret. Just cold words. Shifting blame. Trying to defend the unthinkable.
But you told me, the one thing you did tell me about your father is that you tried to give your father CPR, and that's the one, see, that's a lie. Now you have to admit that's a lie. You're like, I was giving my, yes.
It's a lie.
It's a lie.
I knew he was dead.
You knew he was dead. But you said that the paramedics...
I knew he was dead because he had...
Because you killed him.
Because he had peed his pants. And I knew he was... Yes, I knew he was dead.
But you did it for more of a show. When the paramedics came in, you were doing chest compressions. Admit it.
Admit it. I admit it.
The officers had all they needed to charge Linda and Mary, but since the video was secretly recorded by Marsh without consent, it wasn't admissible. The mystery was unraveled, but Linda wasn't ready to accept defeat.
Does my sister know about this?
I know what your sister did.
You know
I know
what my
what
sister did?
I know what she did, and I know what you did. Your father was sick. He was ill. People make mistakes, okay? And I know everything, okay?
From a trustworthy person, you know everything?
Who's not trustworthy?
Who's not trustworthy?
Somebody obviously told you something that could possibly not be trustworthy. The person is not a trustworthy person. I don't quite understand who would say anything to you. Who is this person that is giving you this information? I don't have a right to know that. They didn't leave a name. They didn't tell you who they were.
They gave us a very detailed account of what happened, so I'm just trying to tell you there's no mystery about what happened.
They gave a detailed account.
Linda's guilt showed in the way she talked, dodging, deflecting, buying time. She wasn't looking for the truth, just the right person to blame.
Who is that person you're talking about? What are you talking about? You keep saying this person's not trustworthy. What person do you have in mind?
A certain person that
Well, I know, but what is that person's name?
Anthony Marsh.
Then why is he not trustworthy?
Well, you can look up his criminal background and see that he's been in a lot of trouble.
With Anthony now named, Linda was prepared to discredit everything he'd told them. What she didn't realize, it wasn't his words that mattered, it was her own, caught on tape.
If you're trying to get me to say what Anthony told you,
I don't. Anthony didn't tell me anything. I don't know what you're talking about, this Anthony. Okay?
Anthony's the only person that we were joking around and things were said.
Okay, let me just walk you through this a little bit, just to bring you up to speed. Okay, the conversation that you had with Mr. Marsh,
Yes.
we were listening to that conversation. Okay?
Okay.
So we can cut to the chase that there was no joking about this. So I'm going to tell you one more time. You're not going to come out on the end of this in a very good fashion because you're not telling the truth about what happened. We try to give you ample opportunity to tell what happened, but now you know that I know what happened.
I wanted to know who told it.
I just told you that.
Okay.
So we're going to cut through the BS. Agreed?
Agreed.
Marsh was all wired up when the cops decided to send him right back in. As expected, Linda slipped, indirectly confessing to it all like it was no big deal. The night before what Sheriff Bob Gualtieri would later call a perfect murder, things got heated. Anthony Tomaselli and Mary had a fiery blowout, loud, messy, and full of tension. But Linda's version of the story didn't add up.
I knew he was dying because he had this mass in his lung, cancer. And she said to me, she held my hand and she said, I can't remember the exact words, but you can't let Dad suffer like this. And we were both crying. And so she said, can we euthanize him some way to put him out of his misery? I said, well, he takes his double sleeping pills, so we could give him a few more sleeping pills, and he would just go to sleep.
It wasn't about ending their father's pain, it was about ending theirs. The stress, the care, the constant responsibility, they were done. That's when the so-called euthanizing plan, yeah, Linda loved using that word, started taking shape.
I felt very bad for my father that he was suffering so bad. He was in pain, he couldn't breathe, he was having labor breathing. And so we took him for a ride for the beach. He always wanted to go to the beach. And then we brought him home, and she took his sleeping pills.
How many?
I don't know. She probably put maybe 10, if I had to guess,
Okay.
into a big glass of, he always had a shot of vodka before he went to bed. And she made this big giant drink for him to drink with the sleeping pills in it. He drank maybe this much of it.
Okay.
And he had his little St. Joseph card he reads at night, and he dropped them. And he lay down and went to sleep.
Tomaselli had no idea the drink handed to him wasn't out of love, but laced with death. They thought it'd be quick, quiet, over, but that's not how it went.
He opened his eyes, but then he closed them immediately after he opened them. And my sister said, he's obviously not, it's not working. And
He's not dead?
Yeah, he had not died, right. My sister and I both said, well, we've started euthanizing him.
Understand.
We have to finish it now.
Okay, and what'd you do?
So we just got a hand washcloth.
Who got the hand washcloth?
I believe I did,
Okay.
but I'm not 100% sure.
The first attempt failed. Watching their father teeter on the edge of death, they jumped straight to plan B. It was cold, quick, and final. The man didn't stand a chance.
She held his nose,
Mm-hmm. And what'd you do?
and I put the washcloth in his mouth and
To block the airway?
blocked the airway. And it was just...
Did he move around? Was he trying to fight it a little bit?
He acted like he had to go to the bathroom, is what the main thing I remember about it.
Okay.
And he urinated.
Did anyone hold his hands?
I did not hold his hands.
Did your sister hold his hands?
She may have.
To stop him from fighting or anything?
He wasn't fighting too much because he was drugged from the sleeping
Okay.
pills.
But there was some movements there.
He did move his hands.
Okay, that's what we're asking. Okay.
Linda chose to lie. She thought she could get away with it. She believed the cops wouldn't notice, but they did.
I know you tried when he woke up and opened his eyes, and you guys went ahead and did the washcloth.
Right.
Prior to doing the washcloth, you used a pillow, and it didn't work.
Well, that I don't remember, honestly, using a pillow. That, honest to God, I do not remember using a pillow. I'm honest with you about that. I don't remember ever saying I used a pillow. We used a pillow.
No, not.
Not do you remember saying it, do you remember the incident in which you used the pillow? That's different. That's a different question.
I don't remember using a pillow. I just remember getting the washcloth.
Well, because you tried the pillow first.
I don't remember, I honestly do not remember using a pillow.
Okay.
I don't remember a pillow being used.
You don't just forget trying to suffocate your own father with a pillow. The poor man fought, used whatever strength he had left to push back. But by the third attempt, he couldn't anymore. The narrative was clear. There was only one thing left to know. The real reason.
Now, is it true that he did not want to go to that group home or the?
Correct.
And was it a burden watching your dad? Because
No,
you guys
he
had to spend so much time going there?
No, that was nothing to do with being a burden. He was going to be in a beautiful place. He had the insurance that covered it.
But he didn't want to go there.
They were going to have to put him eventually. When he got there, they were going to put him.
At first, officers assumed the sisters did it for the inheritance, trying to cash in fast, but the truth hit harder. It was never about the money.
He didn't like it, is what I'm saying. Whether it was the best thing for him or not, he personally did not like it.
He was begging a lady, Shirley's niece, who was known to be on crack. He was begging her to stay with him and take care of her when we knew she was on crack.
No, I understand this. But the long and the short of it is that he was resistant to going there. Regardless if it was the best thing for him, all these other collateral matters, he was resistant to going there. Is that correct?
He was resistant because he did not have his money.
I understand, but we're just walking through this. I'm just saying,
Right.
I'm not saying that it wasn't the best thing for him. We're not getting into any of that. I understand where you thought it was, and maybe it was. I'm just saying he personally was resistant to it for whatever variety of reasons. So he just didn't want to do it.
No.
Okay,
no,
that's all.
He wasn't a father to care for, just a burden to erase. But honestly, it was all about them. Tomaselli didn't want to leave his house, the one place he still felt in control. And that simple refusal, it ended up costing him his life.
My guess is, let me ask you this. You must have been torn about this. I mean, you know...
I was terribly torn about it.
I understand. You had your father that's there and he's suffering, but you know ultimately this was not proper or not lawful, let's put it that way. You're a smart person.
At the time, I felt I was euthanizing my father and helping him.
I understand that.
That is my honest answer I gave you.
Linda kept pushing the whole euthanizing angle, repeating it like a shield. She wasn't just denying the truth, she was deep in denial herself. But at this point, there was no running.
You're a smart lady. I mean, do you think that's lawful for someone to do?
Take the morality out of it.
Anthony told me no, it was not lawful.
You don't, let me ask you this, you don't know independently of Anthony telling you that whether that was right. Forget was it morally right or anything. I'm just saying lawfully, you had to know that was not lawful. Because if it was legal to do that, you would have came out and just told us what happened. And you didn't do that. You knew there had to be a downside to this.
Already told me that it was not legal to do what we did. I felt I euthanized him and put him on the sick leave. I had nothing else to say.
Now it was time for the next bombshell. What Linda didn't know, her sister, Mary Beth, had been sitting in the room right across from hers the entire time. Then, the officers put them together, same room, no warning. What happened next? Absolutely mind-blowing.
What do you mean you don't know what to say? Can't I say anything?
You didn't say anything to them?
Yes, I had to tell them.
And so did I. Because you told so much.
I know. Because I thought I could trust him.
No tears, no regret, not even a flicker of emotion. Mary Beth leaned in and started spinning a whole new narrative, like she was rewriting the story in real time, one where she was the victim.
He came to my house.
Who did?
Anthony.
When?
Thursday.
And he told you he was going to do this?
He told me. He wanted to speak to me. Scared the out of me in my driveway. In my car. In the garage. Because I had to talk to someone very important. Well, I had no idea what could be so important. He insisted I let him in the house. And he told me what you told him. Then he was starting to blackmail.
What do you mean?
Have sex with him or he'll turn me in. And I said, if you turn me in, I'm not having sex with you. I have nothing to say. But he came back. Tried
She was being careful. She didn't want anyone to question her loyalty. And when that fell flat, she switched gears fast, dropping logic and going full emotional, hoping sympathy would do what lies couldn't.
Oh, look at us, we're going to jail. My life is over.
So is mine.
I thought about taking this string and hanging myself in the other room. Taking these off of here and hanging them in the room, killing myself just now.
Take them off.
What? These springs come out of my boots.
Well, you're gonna hang yourself.
I was gonna tie it so tight that I couldn't breathe. We know what we did, and we did it for a reason.
I told him why we did it.
It doesn't matter what you tell that monster.
I told the police when we did it.
I told him why we did it. I told him I thought my father had dementia and he was getting worse every day. He was uncontrollable. And we had gotten a call with the lung cancer. It's true that none of it's a lie.
I know we said our story.
Even with the walls closing in, all these two could talk about was themselves. Not the man they killed, not what they did, just how their lives were ruined.
I told them and invited them.
Yeah. Why did you call me?
I'm speaking to them.
So what? At that time, we did what we felt. That wasn't going to make it. He may have actually got surgery. He was going to go through chemotherapy. That didn't really matter. He may have lived on for what, a year or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what his fate was. But his dementia and so forth was very, very bad.
Either way, the end was definite and the gavel came down hard.
With murder in the first degree.
Linda Roberts was charged with first-degree murder and sentenced to 20 years behind bars. Mary Beth Tomaselli took a deal. She agreed to testify against her sister and in return got 15 years. Two sisters, one twisted plan, and a betrayal that sealed both their fates. For more high-octane takedowns and VIP fails, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our next video.